Hello, wherever you are, and welcome to today's live stream. And the first thing I want to do is to make sure everything is working okay. Welcome back, everybody. I see Brian's here. Good to see you there, buddy. Let's see here. Fish. Man Hype 6304 is first on the comments. Glad you're here. Hey, give me a sound and video check. Part of the purpose of tonight's stream is to make sure everything's working okay. Let's see here. AV is good according to Ciclid Kings. Thank you very much. AV is great. Whips World, thank you so much. I was having a little problem with the microphone. Hey, Josh. Josh in the house. Hope you're doing well, sir, with your upgrade up there. I really have to pay you a visit at some point. Yeah, I was having some problems with the mic. I've been going back and forth with that lapel mic on live streams and then using this larger mic. And you have to do some changes in the settings, and so just kind of finding my legs again here with live streams. So I hope everybody's doing great tonight. Let me see who else is on here. Welcome all of you. Got somebody from Burbank, California. Hey, I used to live right off of Magnolia. You know where that is if you're in Burbank. Let's see here. Uncle Smiley's Aquariums in the house. Fishy Chick. Hello, Fishy Chick in Ohio. Designosaur. Designosaur. I love these names. All right. I've got some wonderful moderators in the house back from my first live stream of 2026. GP. Whips World. Yeah. They'll help keep it all family friendly. Hey, Excalibur Kev, good to see you there, buddy. Thanks for that AV check. Let's see. Carrie Myers in the house, 842. Audio has a little bit of echo or reverb. Okay. Somebody from Canada. Let me make sure there's just a little bit. Maybe that might help with the reverb. Yeah, I'm kind of dialing it all in here. I appreciate your input. All right, so tonight is going to be kind of a casual live stream. I really just want to catch up, let you know what's been going on here, and also I want to find out from you folks what's been going on with you. What's happening with you and your fish, and maybe we can get into some discussions on that. That's always very interesting. What kind of fish you're getting into, and condition of your fish from. Hey, Tim Adams, what's up with you, my friend? Good to see you here. GP slaps me with a $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. And that comes in handy. The part-time job that I had is no longer going on, so your financial help is appreciated. That's not a cry for help. That's just letting you know that I'm no longer working part-time. I was working part-time. I am, as some of you know, technically retired, but I do stay very active between family and other ventures that I get into. Mostly this one here that I'm surrounded by. So let's do the let's do that official start that we always do. A little video someone made for me a while back. All right, there we go. It's official. So, hope you're having a great evening. And Rob Keith is in Clarksville, Tennessee. You're not too far from me. Not too far. Are you closer to the In and Out than I am over in Bellevue? If you are, I'm jealous. We do have In and Out. I think they've moved their headquarters here to Tennessee. So that is very good news for those of you who are In and Out fans like me. I just need them to get a little closer to the southwest here over in Bellevue. So, all right. Ciclid King, the AV is better. Okay, good. Yeah, I turned it down a little bit. And man, you should have seen me 2 minutes before the start here. I was a one-legged man in the butt kicking contest. Whip's World can't be outdone. Hits me with a dollar and a penny. Thank you, Whip. Always appreciated, my friend. All right. Yeah, there is a little bit of a something going on with this mic. I'm not sure what, but I'll get it fixed. And that is part of the purpose of tonight's live stream to get some of the bugs out. So just to give you a quick update, some of you have been following my shorts. I've been putting out a lot of shorts. Sounds kind of funny, right? You've been following my shorts? I hope not. But if you have been watching the short videos I've been putting out, the that red shoulder pistogramma is in this tank here, and he is doing great. And a great eater, no damage on the body from the cockatoo, and he's that was chasing him relentlessly. I mean, it wasn't the kind of chasing that you see with the African cichlids, especially in particular for me, my experience, the peacocks, where you know that they're going to keep chasing until the one of them is dead. You know that wasn't what was going on. What was going on was more a welcome to the neighborhood. You're low on the pecking order. Just want to make sure you know that. And so it's calmed down. He looks good. He's eating well. Everything is great. Oh, we got a visitor. Come here, buddy. Come here. This is Jackson. His whole name is Jackson. We just call him Jack. Yeah, you're a handsome guy. Okay. Thanks for the visit there, buddy. So, my beagle. We've had several. We've adopted and rescued several beagles over the years. Great dog. Great dogs. All right. So you're an hour and a half from In and Out. Okay. You're actually further out than I am. So there you go. I'm gonna make up. It's I think about half an hour for me to get there. But of my kids, I have one daughter here in Nashville that loves In and Out. So I think she'll take the trip with me. So that would be fun. All right. Let's see here. So the red shoulder's doing great. The uh, the two geos that I moved over to the 210, they don't look any worse for wear. So they didn't get. There was some interest in them. I mean, the Oscar came around and checked them out, and if you're familiar with Oscars, when they want to seem tough or assertive, they don't really have teeth, but they hold their mouth open, like a hippopotamus, and let the person know, let the fish know, you would fit in here if I wanted to get you in here, you would fit. So he came around and he checked the geos out, and but I'm looking at them right now. They've got good color. One of them has a couple little marks on his tail, but they're eating well, and so that's gone okay. I had to I had to get the geos. Here's some dishes being moved around up, and the kitchen is right behind me, up these stairs. The geos that I moved over to the 210 had to get taken out because they were not letting the smaller geos come out from like under the wood or behind the wood. They were just being complete jerks. I think they were maybe pairing up because they were moving a lot of substrate around. So maybe they were thinking about pairing up and breeding. And so they were really asserted themselves very heavily on the other geos. Not the other fish, just the geos. And so now they've been moved and they're having to learn how to live with much bigger fish that are probably 4 to 5 times the mass. And but they're big enough where they're bigger than the silver dollars. They're at least as big as the Jack Dempsey that's in there. So and as big as the firemouth. So they're going to do fine. My my project for the for moving over the discus at this point is waiting for the lids. I'm waiting for the lids that are being custom made for the 60-gallon. It's a 60-gallon framed acrylic. And I've got to get some lids for that tank because I don't want fish jumping. And some people have said, well, discus don't jump. Well, I had one jump right in front of me. And fortunately, I was right there, picked him up, put him back in. So anyone who tells you discus don't jump is lying. So I have to make sure that I've got some nice lids on actually let me roll that back a little bit. The fish in the 90 are going to go into the 60, and I know they jump. They can jump. For the 90, I'm going to get a polycarbonate, custom piece of polycarbonate cut because what I have right now is plexi, and the plexi after about 3 days will start to bow a little bit. It's bowing right now in the corners, and I've got to flip it over, right? And then it's kind of arced a little bit, and then it settles down again. The 90 is a custom-made aquarium. It's a long story, but I made it for a piece of furniture. Then the piece of furniture didn't seem sturdy enough to hold the weight, so I ended up with this bizarre size aquarium, like 45 by 45 or something, 48 by 45. It's an odd size aquarium that comes up to about 90 gallons. I had to have the stand custom made for it. So, and there's no lids. There's no lids out there. You've got to like make something up. And in my case, a piece of plexiglass has been the lid. So I'm going to get polycarbonate because I've heard polycarbonate will not bow. It'll stay nice and straight, and that'll keep me from having to flip it over all the time. The 90 gallon currently has a 500-watt Aqua AQQA Aqua heater. That heater has been a complete battleship. It's just like never a blip, never a problem. It's just worked rock solid, keeps the 90 gallon at about 79 degrees, 80 degrees all the time, regardless of the temperature of the garage. It's just a real workhorse. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to stick with Aqua. And I contacted Aqua. And Aqua and Higer are affiliated somehow. I'm not sure exactly of the relationship. But this is the heater. It's a 1,000-watt, a bit of an overkill, I'm sure. It's going to be run through a controller, and a controller that's rated for 1,800 watts. But I'm going to be running that 90 gallon at 83 to 84 degrees. So I got this heater here. Nice little unit. Probably their 800 watt would have been fine. And the truth is, probably 500 would have been fine, but I'd rather have a little more than less. And I'm not worried about the extra watts, cooking the discus, because I'm running it through a Gemco industrial controller. But this is the Aqua unit. It's one of those two-cylinder, two-unit. It's got two heating elements in it, and good-looking little unit. And it comes with what they call a controller, which is really just they've taken all the thermostat and all that sort of stuff, or the controlling of the thermostat. They've taken all that and put it into a unit that you put on the outside of the aquarium. They call it a controller. It's not really a controller in the technical sense. It's not, but it does. They do claim that it has some built-in safeguards. They give you a little holster you can attach to the to your stand if you like, or even to the glass on the side. And then they have this little control unit. Simple control unit. Just do you want Fahrenheit? Do you want centigrade? And pick your temperature. And it has a lockout, so you can lock it. So that, let's say one of my grandchildren are hanging around the fish room, they can't push a few buttons and turn the controller up without knowing that they have to unlock it first. So it has a lock function, Fahrenheit or centigrade, and then just up and down, real simple up and down. So this heavy duty cord here will get plugged into the Gemco controller. Gemco controller will be set at probably 80. Probably have it set at about 85. I'll set the heater at probably 88, and the controller will shut it off when it reaches the desired temperature and not let it overheat the fish. So that'll be what I'm running on the 90 when the discus go in there. And then that 500 watt, the 500 watt heater that's in the 90 right now will go over to the 60-gallon acrylic. And I'm sure it'll do a great job on that 60-gallon, like it's been doing on the 90 all this time. At the, one of you is asking, Rob Keith is asking about the polycarbonate. And I know that Lowe's carries large sheets that they'll custom cut for you. It's not cheap. Be prepared to spend in the neighborhood of $100, depending on the size of the aquarium. I found out from last time when I got the wood for the stand that I built to provide extra support on the shelf that the 60 gallons on. Some of you know about that if you watch those videos. Maybe some of the moderators can share those links to the stand video. But I asked the guy there who cut the wood for me, and he looked in his catalog and he said that Home Depot does have polycarbonate. You can order a custom cut. And by the way, when you go to Home Depot, if you have all your plans laid out, they'll cut all your wood for you right there on the spot. And so go there with with what you need. They'll cut it. They're supposed to charge you like I don't know, just a few cents a cut. And the guy just said, "No, I'm not going to charge you for the cuts." He just stacked up the wood and gave it to me. So very, very cool. Well, I'm sorry, Whip, but it looks like Tim got you there. He's at $10.02. I'm not encouraging you guys to get into a into a war on this, a super chat war, but I'm not going to stop you. Okay. All right. So check out, check out Lowe's and check out uh, Lowe's would be the first place I think that you could probably get it, and they'll custom cut it for you. When they custom cut it, just be sure to examine it to make sure that they haven't given you a bad chip or something. If they did in the cutting, they'll give you another piece. You don't have to take that piece, but it's expensive. It's probably twice as much as as just the plexi. The plexi's done the job. It's helped with evaporation. It's helped with keeping fish from jumping out. That 90 gallon, I did have a vieja one time jumped out, and I got right in the car, went right to, right to Lowe's and got the top. But there you go. Hey, Kendall G in the house. Good to see you. T Mode 5221, another Tennessee native. Very, very cool. Now, if you have a question for me, start it with ben.o.ciclid. That way it jumps out at me on my chat and I can be sure to address it. Happy New Year to you, Kent. Kent's wishing me Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Wet Sleeves Aquatics, greetings to you. I'm going through the chat right now. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. All right, I'm catching up on the chat. Bear with me. Tim's doing a water change. Very cool. The Fish Nerds wants to know about the plants in the discus tank. Well, I've got some good news on that, and I think I'm onto something. And by that, what I mean is I kind of threw it out there into the community, and like the community often does, you folks responded and gave me some tips, and I took those tips to heart. Always be learning. We all learn from each other. You know all the models, right? Uh, so I picked up some swords, and someone said swords were hardy and high temp, and they're on the far end there. And maybe I'll turn the camera and show them to you. I got some swords, and the I started using more fertilizer. So someone suggested swords, and another person made a comment that made a lot of sense. The comment was basically, if you're running the tank at a high temp, just like your fish, your plants will be sped up in their metabolism, if you will, for lack of a better word, and will need more nutrients. So they're probably already getting more nutrients because I feed these guys protein and twice a day, and they get a good feeding and a real uh, just a real mix of things. They get bloodworms, and they get uh, brine shrimp, and they get flakes, and they get pellets, and they get Sarah discus specific food and Dr. Bessler specific. They get a lot of different food. But I do vacuum the tank and clean the tank a lot. So at any rate, I'm putting more fertilizer and I'm using swords, and they seem to be catching. I use the liquid fertilizer. You can see it right over my head here. That's the Scared the daylights out of the discus. This is the liquid pump, Easy Green, Easy Green all-in-one fertilizer. I've been using that, and I'm using the root tabs. Lots of root tabs. So fingers crossed. Now, another thing on the plants. This is one of those things where, oh gee, the answer was right in front of my face the whole time. I added some some floating plants, right? And they're doing great in the discus tank. So you can see it right there in the upper, right there. Some hornwort. And that hornwort looks absolutely beautiful. It's been in there for a few weeks. It's bright green, it's growing, and it's looking really, really good. And so hornwort, lo and behold, seems to not mind 83, 84 degrees. So there you go. So in the 90 gallon, it looks like I'll be using hornwort and swords and a lot of fertilizer when I move the discus over. Now keep in mind, it's going to be a transition that's going to be done in phases. First phase, fill the 60-gallon up with half water from the 90 and then half with conditioned tap water. So basically it'll be like a big water change in the 90 gallon. Then move the fish from the 90 gallon over to the 60 and then watch them for about a week, week and a half, and make sure that they're all happy, doing well, stable. When I'm convinced that's the case, then I can start the transition of the discus to the 90. I don't want to have the discus in the 90 and then realize that some of the fish in the 60 are not doing well. I need to go back somewhere and not have anywhere for them to go back. So I'm going to make sure the fish are nice and stable in the 60 and for a few weeks, and then I'll bring over the discus, and in that interim, raising the temperature of the 90 to match the temperature in the 55 that they're in now, and adding plants to that 90 gallon. If I had plants in there right now, they would be just completely destroyed. The severum would destroy them. Probably, for sure, the geos would dig them up, and probably maybe the paratilapia, the starry night, maybe would be tearing them up too. But for sure, the severum. So I'm not going to add plants with the existing combination of fish in that 90 gallon. That's be a waste of time. So when they've been moved out and they seem stable in the 60, I will go ahead and start adding the plants and raising the temperature and that sort of thing. I'm not sure if I'll add Anubias. Anubias has tended to struggle, which is unusual because it comes from, I mean, granted, it comes from shady areas, but it comes from Africa. You think it would be used to high temps, but it's been struggling for me in the discus tank. But the swords seem to be doing okay. I'll show you. That's my discus tank swords experiment corner. And apart from using more liquid fertilizer, I also have those root tabs, probably about 4 root tabs mixed in around them. And the extra fertilizer is helping, I think, the other plants, the crypts that are that were in there, and even helping the Anubias, which seems to have some new growth. I'll just pan and show you the whole thing. See the Anubias there? It's always been like kind of black and struggling, and it actually looks a little better now. And since I started doing that extra fertilizer, so like double up, maybe even triple up on the amount of fertilizer. Definitely, if it's a rooted plant, definitely use maybe twice the recommended root tabs. Of course, I'm using those root tabs also from the aquarium co-op. Just just shove them down to the substrate. Glad you asked about those plants. I wanted to bring it up. You know, for those of you who run your aquariums at a high temp, plants could be a real struggle. Oh, 99 Hunter, I forgot to say hi to you, my friend. And Rob, JJ25. If I miss you and don't call you out or say hi, doesn't mean I don't like you. Just means that somehow I just didn't see it. And again, a big shout out to my wonderful moderators. On my computer, they appear as blue with a little wrench next to their name. And they're the ones that really help keep things rolling here. All right, so hit me with some questions. I hope the mic isn't sounding echoey still. Got the other mics turned off, so there shouldn't be any. Check one more thing here. At any rate, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. When this live stream is over, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like take the software and take it back to sort of factory defaults and then just reset everything, and that should actually work. Whips World, the I've got the if the black I've got that black hole I believe is over on the 300 gallon, and it's doing a great job. It's doing a real good job. Now, that being said, I did have one of the Higer heaters that I had in the discus tank. It started being real sketchy, and I had to pull it out. I contacted Higer. They were real quick to offer a replacement. That's when I started communicating with Aqua because I'd had a lot of success with that Aqua heater in the 90. They were very willing to work with me and sent me out this 1,000 watt right away. So big shout out to Aqua for that. But the one I have in the 300 is working wonderful. It's doing a great job, and that's a Higer. And I also have a heater in the sump under the 210 gallon. That's a Higer titanium, and it's doing great as well. So now, if I had to rate heaters, there's a lot of heaters out there I haven't tried. I haven't tried the new Seashay heaters. I haven't tried those. Hearing some good things about them. But on personal experience, the battleship of heaters is German-made Eheims. German-made Eheim heaters are the sort of battleship. Uh, then, based on personal experience, I would probably, after that, I mean, again, based on what I've gone through, the Aqua. Aqua has been real solid. And then I would probably put Higer down there in third or fourth. I mean, I've had some issues with the Higer heaters. If you run them through controllers, if you keep an eye on them, if you realize that heaters usually last about 2 years, when you're okay. The Eheim 300 watt that I put into this tank after that Higer started being squirrely, just fired right back up, doing a great job. I've had it for about 5 years, using it on and off. The only reason I don't use it is so damn long. I can't. It's like a baton, you know. It's like a policeman's nightstick, but it's a battleship. So anyway, there you go. Let's see here. Hey, Carl. Carl and Kim are going to be moving into a bigger place. Finally, be able to build my dream fish room. Wow, that's awesome. That's exciting. That's so exciting. Take pictures along the way. You know, I tell people to start a YouTube channel, whether they share it or not, and because it gives them a way to upload and have an ongoing video record of what's going on, and YouTube will store it for you at no cost. They won't charge you for the cloud space. But you know, keep a record so you can go. I mean, I still look sometimes at pictures of when this room was empty, and I hired folks to go ahead and redo the floors. And even before that, when it was empty and disgusting, like when we first got the house, and you know, you really can create kind of a timeline using YouTube. And so take a lot of pictures. Definitely send me some. I'll share your progress with the YouTubers. You're going to move 22 tanks? Well, okay. Remember, lift with your legs. Take it from a man who's thrown his back out numerous times. Lift with your legs. Back straight. Use your thighs. Okay. Zach is breeding Julia chromas. Beautiful fish. Love those fish. And he's got about 100 at selling size. Oh my goodness. If you want to share your, if you want to share your contact information or where you are in the country, maybe some people might want to get those from you. Kendall says whatever you did made it worse. I can't win. All right. JMS Adams, it's good to be back. I missed you guys. I missed the live interaction. It's very different from just talking to a lens, throwing it out there. The only thing better would be to meet you in person somewhere. And by the way, in March, I'm going to be I'm scheduled again to speak at the big Chicago meeting up there in March. I'm going to be speaking. So if you're in the Chicago or around the that part of the world, I'll be I'll post more details as they become available. But I will be giving a talk up there in March. Zach, I got a new HOB. Yeah, CJ makes great products. I absolutely love the pumps. I've got two 5.0s under the 300, and I've got a 9.0 under the 210. One pump under the 210, two pumps under the 300. You just never think about they're just you just take them for granted. They just run and run and run, and they're quiet. They don't make any noise. They move a lot of water. Once a year, you pull them out. You give them a bath in this. There's a solution. There's a powder that she say can send you. It cleans up everything, cleans everything up inside of it. You just soak it in there for a little bit, hook it back up, and away you go. Right. You do want to keep the impellers pretty clean, but keep in mind that in the sump, by the time the water gets to the pump in the sump, the water has been put through pre-filter, pre-filters, through socks, through 12 inches of sponge, so by the time the water gets to the pump, it's pretty clean. So the impellers on those pumps, on the sump pumps, are really never in that bad of a shape. The impellers on your hang-on backs and on your power heads and wave makers, we really need to disassemble and clean those. Maybe every other cleaning or every few months for the power heads and wave makers, because their performance will go down dramatically if those impellers get gunked up. Kim and Carl's had the best luck with Flubel. Flubel, you can't. What can you say about Flubel? I mean, yeah, they're expensive. Flubel's expensive. If you have an FX and you need replacement parts, you're gonna pay good money. I mean, I remember paying $27 for a purge valve that was about this big, probably made in China for 5 cents. But their battleships, they run forever. As I say that, the FX6 in the aquarium in front of me, it just cleared out its air bubbles. I don't know if you heard that on the mic, but it was like a loud burst of air. Tim has 15 Eheim Jag, Jaggers, and they are battleships. Yes, they are. The only problem we ever ran into, and I've said this before, was when they outsourced to China or Japan, and those heaters do not say made in Germany on them. So if your heaters say made in Germany, you have a battleship heater. And it sounds like all of yours are. You know, Aaron, I have a couple of those cheap aqua tops. I use them in my Pleco playground or in my some of my hospital tanks. I was using those aqua tops. They work fine. They work fine. Not the most precise adjustment on the top. Seems like it's a little bit of a ballpark, but they do the job. They do the job. You dial them in. You watch your thermometer. Always a good idea to have a digital thermometer to cross-check what you think your heater is doing, and you'd be surprised the difference between what the heater is telling you and what your water temperature is. So always good to have a digital thermometer. All right. Any more questions? Hit me now. Kim and Carl, you burned yourself by touching a heat. Oh, okay. Are maybe you're talking about the glass where the glass is exposed. This is why I like these kinds of heaters, especially if you're going to be putting them in with discus, because I've heard discus will look for something smooth and try and lay eggs on it. And if they lay eggs on a glass heater, like a large Eheim, they can actually damage their body. So the best solution is something like that, a plastic covered where the elements are below the plastic so they can't really make direct contact with the glass. And you can lay the heater horizontal near the bottom of the aquarium. And that gives you, a few inches off the substrate. That gives you two advantages. One advantage is that the discus are not going to see it as like the way they would look at a cone and want to lay eggs on it. The other advantage is that if you forget to unplug your heater during a water change, you're not going to drop the water line so low that you're going to blow your heater up. So running your heater horizontal a few inches off the substrate is, in my mind, probably the best way to run a heater. That being said, I'm not doing it in all my tanks like that because in some of my tanks I just never do a water change that would ever be that low. Fish Fam Link is talking about memberships and super stickers and super chats. I don't do memberships. I haven't started doing any kind of members only content. I do have some things that I put out to those of you who are Patreon members. And I don't know if I see if this Patreon. Yeah, there they are. Now, this might not be updated. This might have a few names missing, but Patreons really help me out a lot. Starts for about $3 a month. That's the only sort of ongoing membership that the channel has is Patreon membership. And there's some information underneath the in the description on how to become a monthly Patreon supporter. You have no idea how handy it's come in. It's been recently. My recent part-time job change. All right, so let's see here. Aaron says, thanks for all you do. Good to see you back. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, and I'm glad to be back. Gabriel Ramirez, glad to see you back. Thank you, my friend. Ben, does it benefit to use the here in the, I'm pretty sure you mean heater. On the 210 gallon, I'm only using a heater in the sump. I don't use a heater in the tank. And the heater in the tank, it just got old, and I didn't trust it anymore, so I pulled it out, and I put up. I've got like a 100-watt heater in the sump, and it's doing fine. The truth is that heater would hardly ever work because the pumps, and I think the Sun canister that's on that aquarium, I think they were producing enough heat to keep the tank at about 78. Because that tank is like, it doesn't matter how cold this room is, that tank's always 78.4. And the heater will be off. Tank's at 78.4. So I think it's the heat being generated by the pumps, maybe a little bit from the lights, maybe from that 3,500 gallon per hour wave maker that runs in there. It's on a timer, it doesn't run all the time. And the sun. The sun probably produces heat, right? So, yeah, it's working okay in the heater in the sump. The only thing you have to watch out is when you do a water change and the sump water level goes down, You don't want that heater, again, you don't want that water level to go below the safe point on that heater. And the compartment it's in doesn't let me put it sideways and low. So it's standing up. So I just got to be aware of that. So what I do is I run a little water out of the tank when I'm doing a water change, and then I'll turn the pumps off in the sump. So that water level stays where it is, with a little bit of drainage from the tank, and that keeps the heaters from possibly getting into a problem. I'm watching a deep water hap and and a buccochromis doing a mating dance at the back of the African cichlid tank. I don't know what's going on over there. All right. Zach, new gadgets? Well, that heater that I just showed you, I guess, would that classify? I've got the I've got that I've got that new the new controller I got from Gemco that I'm going to be running that heater through. I also have some stuff up in the storage bin that I'm going to be pulling down. I've got a new some new UV light gadgets that I'll be showing you in a future video. What other gadgets do I have? I've got that astronaut backpack hang on back. I'm not sure where I'm going to use that or if I'm going to use it, but it's kind of a cool. Did you see that the video on that hang on back? It's been disassembled. I had it running for that video. It ran great. Totally quiet. And when I disassembled it, it was very easy to disassemble, very easy to clean. So kind of a little bit, maybe a little gimmicky, um, not for everybody, a little complicated in the setup, but once you set it up, you totally get it. And then it's very simple, but not for everybody, like I said in the video. Is Aquaballs in the house? If he is, hello, Aquaballs. I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, Kim and Carl, I mentioned that early on. It's more or less in a holding stage right now. I'm waiting for the custom lids. They're being custom cut, and once I get those lids to make sure fish don't jump out of that 60-gallon, I'm going to be pretty much ready to go. And it's going to be a phased transition, right? Bringing some water over from the 90 for pH purposes. Bringing the 2 sponge filters that I've been seasoning. I've been seasoning 2 large sponge filters in the 90-gallon, so they're going to be rich with beneficial bacteria. I'll condition. I'll fill the 60 up to about halfway, then do the rest of it with tap, so it's like a water change. Like a water change, I'll condition it, make sure the water's conditioned. Bring over those sponge filters. I already have the air lines and the pump. That 6-outlet battery backup pump from Higer, which has been running like a beast. So, and that's going to be running all 6 pumps on all three tanks against that wall. The Pleco Playground / quarantine tank, the 60-gallon, and the 29-gallon hospital quarantine. All of those will be run with the 1 6-outlet lithium battery power backup Higer air pump. Probably one of the best equipment pickups for me of the year was that air pump. It changed my mind entirely on what I was going to do with those three tanks. I had like Cisse sharks. I had the nano and micro filters. I had expert matics. These things are going to be using, uh, those things would have been using 10 times the amount of wattage that one air pump is using. So anyway, it's going to be a phased, bring the fish over, make sure they're doing well in the 60. When I'm sure of that, then I'll bring over the discus to the 90, and then work on adding some plants and swords and hornwort look like the top candidates right now for high temperature plants. So there you go. You're caught up. Aquaball's in the house. Hey, buddy. Had the pleasure of meeting him in Los Angeles. Flowerhorn King had a 9-inch flowerhorn and a 55. Yeah, I think that probably worked pretty well. Flowerhorns, I think, are it's so funny. I'm not crazy about their shape. I kind of like the females more because I don't like that big nuchel. But the colors and the patterns are just absolutely nuts. I do like them. MC Aquatics. That's amazing to me that you have an old silent giant that's still running. I remember the silent giants. I mean, I remember those when I was a kid. I mean, that was like the pinnacle of pumps, the silent giant. Was that a piston pump? I remember there was something really special about it. And the silent giants, they could really push a lot of air. Yeah, I've got a bottle of Ciclid Kings. I've got a bottle of that I just happen to have laying around that hasn't expired of Chem Stability. So I'll probably pour some Chem Stability in there. I'm not that worried about it, and I'll tell you why. Those sponges have been running for about a month, so they're pretty rich with beneficial bacteria. And I'm also going to bring over probably five between 5 and 10 cups of substrate from the 90, and I'm going to mix it into the sand that I have in the 60. So I'm bringing over a lot of beneficial bacteria. I'm not too worried about it, but I had that stability laying around, so I figured why not? I'm going to go ahead and put it in that 60 anyway. It's really truly a brand new tank, and it's not what you would call a seasoned tank. Some of you watched my video on the ahas, the aha moments, and my discussion about seasoned tanks versus new tanks. So that 60 is definitely not a seasoned tank, but I think between bringing over those sponges uncleaned, right? I'm not going to rinse them. I'm just going to bring them directly over them, drop them in, and five between 5 and 10 cupfuls of substrate. I'm going to have a lot of beneficial bacteria in that 60 gallon. Now, if you use something like Fritz or something like Stability, always check the expiration. That's one of the biggest problems people run into using those products, expiration dates. And also be sure that you're not putting it into a tank where the water has not been conditioned. Be sure the tank is conditioned, then add your beneficial bacteria in a bottle, or the ammonia will kill the bacteria immediately. So, just a tip. GP, I'm thinking once or twice a month evenings and once or twice a month on Saturdays. So the schedule is sort of to be determined. But on Saturdays, with the with the youngest granddaughter becoming more active now, we have things we like to go do, and very often they're on Saturday morning, and I don't want to miss those. So there you go. It's my grandpa hat, the grandpa job. So Silent Giants are still available. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that I'm a big fan of. I'll let you folks see your comments. I'm a big fan of the Fritz products. The Fritz Zyme 7. It's just never failed me. It's always been good. Yeah. So weeknights are better for you, GP. How about the rest of you? Are weeknights or Saturdays better for you? Let me know. Of course, I've got a biased audience, right? This will be the audience that says weeknights are better, and then on Saturday, the survey will be Saturdays are better. Yeah, let me know, folks, what you like better. I try I try to please. I do my best, but as the grandchildren get older, and we do things with them, and they one of those while it's still cool to be with Grandpa, you want to take advantage of that window. I will say that my youngest, Elowen, we call her Winnie, my youngest granddaughter. Some of the first things she says when she comes over is "fish room, fish room," and she walks over to the top of the stairs. We have a gate there, and she points, and we'll stand there until I pick her up and bring her down. Aaron likes weeknights. Tim, T mode, T mode, 5221 likes weeknights. Okay, good. Yeah, we probably have a group for both. My daughter is 13 this year, and she is still the boss of the. I remember when my daughters were 13. Yeah, they're the boss, especially with dads. Maybe not so much with moms, but definitely with dads. Saturday nights. Yeah, I haven't thought about Saturday nights. Uh, that's possible. Yeah, Wednesdays are the sort of traditional cichlid and suds night, but that can change. All right. Well, there you have it. I've used up an hour of your life that you'll never get back. So everything is moving according to plan here in the fish room. I'm taking my time uh, with the transitions. I'm having good success with recent moves with the fish, right? The geos, that move went okay. The red shoulder, and the adding of the apistos, that's gone okay. My starry night and my green tears are doing wonderful in the 90. Those are fish that are eventually going to go out probably to the 210. So things are moving along. I'm trying to get more content out, but the truth is that I come into the fish room. I've got a project behind the tanks. Someone recently asked me, they were driving between Chicago and Florida or something. They said, "Can we stop by for your fish room?" And I just said, "No, not right now. I've got what you don't see behind these tanks are piles of stuff that I'm getting organized. I'm putting into bins. I'm making trips to Goodwill and getting rid of stuff. And so when I come down here, I've got a lot of stuff to do. So I came downstairs to film a video, and it's time to go do something else. And I haven't filmed a video because I've been busy doing a water change or unpacking a bin that's been laying there since we got here 5 years ago, and opening it up, and oh well, there's the blah blah blah, and oh well, this goes to Goodwill. We don't use that anymore, and so it's just a lot of that's been going on. But what you see is good and stable, and knock on wood, and there you go. So I want to thank all of you for your ongoing support of the channel. Thank you to my those of you who super chatted. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, all of you subscribers, all of you who lurk and don't subscribe, all of you who like, all of you who don't like. Thank you everybody for stopping by. You are the best. And hey, T-Mode hits me with a $9.99. Thank you, my friend. Very appreciated. Like I said, you have no idea how much those super chats are helping me right now with my recent career change. All right. So I think that being said, on that generous note, I think we will go ahead and call it a night. Thank you, everybody. You rock. You're the best. And I'm not sure what I've got coming up, but keep your eye out. I'm sure there'll be a video in the next few days, possibly some shorts for sure. And you are all greatly appreciated. And happy 2026. I sincerely hope it's the best year of your life. All right. Thank you, my friends. Bye-bye.